Hey YouTube, welcome back to Full Charge Gaming. My name is Jovercharge, and we are here to charge up your gameplay for Hacknet. We're going to go through some of the entropy levels today. So we're going to start by going to their email, and they welcomed us to their asset server. Need to make sure we go there, and they also gave us a password. We're going to go into their asset server because they are going to have something for us that we need to go through these next few levels. So now that we're in, we're going to go to the file system, go to the bin folder. Alongside an SSH crack, we have an FTP bounce. So we're gonna get that FTP bounce file. That is gonna allow us to hack through the FTP ports. So when we go to our own system here, you're gonna see that we now have two methods of hacking through a computer. So let's go to the entropy email here, and we're going to reply saying that we got that program. Now they're going to welcome us to their contract database. Now that that's available, they're going to give us another password for that. Click on the contract database wherever it shows up, and we're going to log in with the password they gave us. It's real important that you click that username and password earlier. That way it automatically shows up here. It's a simple click of a button. Otherwise, you'd have to actually type it all out, and we don't want to do that. We're just going to click in. Now we have available contracts. We're just going to do them in order for now. So we're going to start with Point Clicker. This mission says a well-meaning client needs some of his data from a game deleted. So we're going to access this email and see what it says. This guy wants us to go into a game called Point Clicker, delete his save file so that he can play it from the beginning again. So we're going to click on the Point Clicker server, and it's here. And his handle in the game is going to be this Menx. So let's go to the Point Clicker server. Here's the game. Now, if you check it out, it's actually a lot like Cookie Clicker. They want you to just click these things and you gather, it looks like points over time, and then you unlock passive point accumulation things, and you can go all the way down, and that's really what it is. So I guess this guy really rocked this game. Let's check it out. So we're gonna probe the system. All right, so open ports required for crack 2. So you guys know that we would do an SSH crack on port 22, but now we have the option to do an FTP bounce. So all you need to do is run an SSH crack on port 22 and an FTP server crack, or the FTP bounce, on port 21. That will fulfill the requirement of 2 ports needed to hack this server. So once we do that, we're going to do our port hack, and then we're going to be able to get in. And now that we're in, you can type ls to list the files. Now, one thing to remember is the log file tracks us logging in. So we got to make sure we delete this on our way out. But let's go to Point Clicker, saves, and remember this guy's name is Menx. So we just need to find it from this list. Now, one cool thing to notice is that when we started playing, we created a save file too, Point Clicker save, and we had only clicked a few things. So one thing we're going to do first, we're going to remove our own save, and I'm going to show you why. So type in RM to remove, and then type in your own name, whatever it is, delete it. That file's gone. Now let's find this Menx guy. I'm gonna show you something cool here. Now, we could just remove this, and that's really what he wants us to do. But what I wanna do first, we can open any save file in this game by simply changing the name of the file to our own name. So my name's Jovercharge, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna move this file. Now, we're not physically gonna move it, but we're gonna rename it. The move command, or MV, also functions as a rename function. So you can rename files or move them. So I wanna move this Menx point clicker save file. So you can type in the first few letters, hit tab, and then we're gonna change it to our own name, and then we're gonna hit enter. So now what that does is that puts his save data in our name, which is kind of cool. So it also deletes his save. So we've done 2 things at the same time. So let's go to log, and we're gonna remove everything, and then we're just gonna disconnect. Relog into the face of the game, and now when we hit go, so now this is what his game looked like, and it's, oh, I don't even know what's going on here. He looks like he's in the negative. I don't even know what's going on, but this is what he had. And it looks like he had hundreds and hundreds of upgrades and whatever. But anyway, that's fine. We're gonna log out, we're gonna DC. We completed the mission by getting rid of his save data. So we're just gonna reply to his email. Contract successful, and we are good to go. We're gonna go to the next contract, the famous counter hack. So this is a news organization hacked something, or had someone hack something and get a mailing list. So we're gonna try to delete that mailing list. That's really what we're gonna do. So PP Marketing, this is their server info here. We're gonna click that and check them out. We're gonna probe their system. Okay, they have a proxy, which isn't a big deal. We're gonna go to our own PC, type in shell like we did already, And we're going to maybe take one from another system. Yeah, we'll use Vipers, and I think we could use this test PC. We'll keep it to PCs that we know are pretty safe. So we're going to probe the system, and we're going to overload the proxy. Now, this is interesting. We now have a trace. If the trace gets all the way down to 0, we're going to lose the game. So what we can't let happen anytime you try to hack any system is you can't let the trace get down to 0. Now, this one's counting rather slowly. It's not quite in tune with real seconds because sometimes they're faster, sometimes they're slower. But what we're going to do is we're going to hack through these ports, and I'm going to show you guys a neat trick. We've bypassed the proxy, and we're hacking through the FTP server, finish the port hack, and then we're actually going to disconnect from the system, and I'll show you why here in a second. Now, later on in the game, you're going to get something to deal with this trace, but for just this moment, check this out. We're going to disconnect, and then we're going to reconnect to their system. And now we are the admin of the system, and if you probe it, you'll see that the proxy's still bypassed and these ports are open. But for whatever reason, the trace is missing. So now we can perform our activities at our leisure. Just something interesting I saw in this one. I don't know if it pertains to every single one, but I know that there are some systems that you hack and this doesn't happen and you need to actually work with the trace. But for this one, for whatever reason, it doesn't continue the trace. I don't know why. But we're gonna view the file system anyway. Here's that mail list. You're going to read some of these things and you're going to eventually discover that these .dec files are an encrypted format that we're going to learn to deal with later. So I'm actually going to try to gather that mailing list by using scp, that's our get command. And then we're going to actually remove it. After we get rid of that file, remember to go to log, delete everything by rm star, and then just dc. And then we're going to go to our famous counter hack email, reply to it because we succeeded, and we are good to go. Now we're gonna do one more mission here. We are now gonna do the back to school mission. So this one's gonna require a little bit more reading on our part. We're gonna actually need to dig into this database a little bit more. And here's what's going on. When we go to log in, we're gonna find another proxy. We can use our multiple shells we've already created to log in. And we are going to get through this port. We can just use SSH. SSH seems to be the quickest. Now what we're looking for is this guy's password, but it's not gonna be in a file. It's not gonna be as explicit because we look in system, we look in bin, we look in our logs. We know what's gonna appear there. Here's home. Look at this here, PW memo. This is his password memo. We need to just make the IT password and then he puts 7 asterisks here. So he's saying literally just the password, just stars. So when you read this, you find out this is really the password, 7 asterisks. So now that we know that, let's go to the log file, remove all trace of us being here, and we're just gonna disconnect. We're gonna go back to the email, go to back to school. We need to reply to this email, giving them the password. So we're just gonna type out 7 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom, send it. We have completed the mission and we are now good to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tune in for the next one where we continue more of the entropy contracts. We are going to finish these and I hope to see you guys in the next video. So until then, stay charged guys, and we'll see you next time. Take care.